In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum students. Our today's topic to discuss about is cell potential and thermodynamics, and we would derive Nernst equation and we would explain this equation. Cell potential and thermodynamics, we discuss about the cell potential and its relationship with different thermodynamic factors, like we will talk about how free energy affects the cell potential and how cell potential and equilibrium constants are related to each other. Then we would derive Nernst equation, and it is about the effect of concentration of two half cell solutions on the cell potential. Cell potential and free energy. Actually, the cell potential is the measurement of the tendency of a reaction to take place. We take a cell in which one of the material or one of the electrode is anode, at which oxidation take place, at the other one there is reduction which is taking place. So the tendency of a reaction to proceed is actually the difference of the potential of the reactions to take place. Difference in the potential of the reaction to take place means the more positive the cell potential, the greater is the tendency of the reaction to proceed. And this tendency of a reaction is actually equal to the standard free energy change. And standard free energy change is actually the tendency of the reaction, and tendency of the reaction is actually the positive cell potential. So more is the free energy, standard free energy, in the negative value, more will be the tendency of a reaction to take place, and more will be the cell potential of the cell in which that reaction is taking place. The relationship of the delta G naught and E naught is given as delta G naught is equal to minus N F E naught. Here N is the number of moles of electrons passing, F is the Faraday's constant, E naught is the standard electrode potential or standard cell potential, and delta G naught is the standard free energy change. Following are some points about this relation. Actually, greater the value of minus delta G naught, negative value of delta G naught means that more negative is the value of standard free energy change, the more will be the electrode potential or cell potential of the cell in which that reaction is taking place. When an electric charge Q moves across the some potential difference, work is done. The right hand side of the equation have the units of work. It is actually work done to move n moles of electrons through the cell. When an electric charge Q moves across some potential difference, work is done. The right side of the above equation is the representation of the work done to move n moles of charges across the cell potential E naught. Whenever n moles of charges across the cell potential E naught moves from one half cell to the other half cell, the total work done is taken in the form of delta G naught. The value of delta G naught expresses the maximum useful work. What does mean by useful work here? It is the work extracted from the cell. Actually, delta G naught is the value of the actual work which is extracted from the cell to overcome any resistance which is applied to that cell. For example, we have connected a light with that of a cell, we have connected any motor with that of a cell, and the work done against that resistance or work done to overcome that resistance is taken to be a useful work done. The quantity of work done, which is called to be a pressure volume work done, is neglected here. It is the simply work done which is due to the change in the volume, and this type of work done is neglected here in this type of cells. This quantity of work done minus delta G naught can only be done by the system under the limiting conditions of thermodynamically reversible change. Thermodynamically reversible change means that we have ignored the pressure volume work done, and minus delta G naught is the total work done to carry out the reaction or to carry out the n charges from one half cell to second one half cell, and this work done is taken to be a useful work done. When Faraday's constant F is taken in coulomb per mole per electron, E naught is in joule per coulomb, and N is taken in a mole electron, the units of the right hand side of the above equation comes out to be equal to unit of work done. And this unit of work done, whenever related with that of the electrical units, we have 1 joule of work done is equal to 1 watt second, and 1 watt is equal to ampere volt, because P is equal to VI. So V is in volt, I is in ampere, and P is a watt. So watt will be equal to ampere volt into second. 1 joule is equal to 1 watt second, or 1 joule is equal to 1 ampere second into volt. The above equation can be written as, whenever we would write this one equation for the value of E naught, standard cell potential, we can write this one as delta G naught or over NF. So the cell potential is the measure of the free energy change when 1 mole of electron pass across the electrodes. 1 mole of electron would take F coulombs of energy, and when 1 mole of electron moves from one half cell to the other half cell, the cell potential will become equal to total free energy. So free energy is the measure of work done to move 1 mole of electrons across the electrodes. How cell potential and equilibrium constant of a reaction are related to each other. We would we would take this one relationship for a general reaction as, in which A moles of A are reacting with B moles of B, and they are giving C moles of C and D moles of D, and suppose equilibrium constant of this reaction is K. We have a relationship between the standard free energy and equilibrium constant as delta G naught is equal to minus RT ln K. Here R is the general gas constant, T is the temperature in Kelvin, and K is the value of the constant, equilibrium constant. Ln is a log having base E, which is called to be a natural log. Putting the value of standard free energy from the relation with standard cell potential, we have taken this one reaction, delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught. Putting the value of delta G naught here in this equation, it would become equal to minus NF E naught is equal to right hand side minus RT ln K. Rearranging this equation to take the value of E naught, we get the value of E naught, which is a standard cell potential, equal to RT ln K over NF. Putting values of all the constants to right hand side. What are the constant? R temperature is taken to be equal to 298 Kelvin. N is the number of electrons. F is the Faraday's constant. And whenever we would put all these values to the right hand side of this equation, we would get this value. And by placing log base 10 instead of natural log, we would take this value equal to ln k would become equal to 2.303 log k, and multiplying this factor with this one, we would get the final equation as E naught is equal to 0.0591 over n log k. So E naught changes directly with that of log k because it is a constant value. Hence, if we draw log k against E naught or cell potential, we would take the straight line. The cell potential is directly proportional to the log of the equilibrium constant of a reaction. Greater the positive value of equilibrium constant, greater will be the EMF of a cell or cell potential of the cell. So equilibrium constant increases, the value of the cell potential also increases with that of the equilibrium constant. This table gives the relationship of some thermodynamic factors with that of the rate and direction of the reaction and rate constant, equilibrium constant values. For example, whenever the delta G is negative for a reaction, that is less than 0, the E naught cell potential, standard cell potential will be positive, it will be greater than that of 0. The value of equilibrium constant will be greater than that of the 1. The reaction is spontaneous in the forward direction, reaction will move to the forward direction having Kc value greater. Whenever we would have delta G value positive, which is greater than 0, the E naught value would become negative, that is lower than 0. The value of K will also be less than that of 1, and the reaction is spontaneous in reverse direction. And whenever these two values of delta G naught and E naught are 0, then the equilibrium constant will be 1. No net reaction would take place, and we would take that the system is at equilibrium and there is no electron flowing from one to other electrode, or you may say that the electron flowing to the both side would become equal to each other. The reaction has attained its equilibrium position. Nernst equation. This equation actually gives the effect of concentration of the cell on the cell potential. Concentration, what do you mean by concentration, or for what concentration we are going to take? Actually, we take the two half cells in a cell, and concentration of electrolyte in one half cell and concentration of the electrolyte in second half cell. The change in concentration in both the half cell would affect the value of the cell potential. The relation for actual free energy, we have taken delta G is equal to delta G naught plus RT ln Q. Here delta G naught is the value of standard free energy change, R general gas constant, T is the temperature in Kelvin, Q is the reaction quotient, which is the ratio of the concentration of ions in one half cell with respect to the ratio of the concentration of ions with second half cell. Putting delta G is equal to NFE and delta G naught is equal to NFE naught. In the above equation, we would have the value NFE is equal to NFE naught. We have placed delta G is equal to NFE, delta G naught is equal to NFE naught, and the same factor RT ln Q. Taking the value of E from this equation, dividing by NF on both sides, we would have E is equal to E naught plus RT over NF ln Q. This equation is called as Nernst equation. The name is given after the German physicist and chemist called as Walter Nernst, who first derived this equation, and this is an important relationship taken in electrochemistry to carry the value of the electrode potential or cell potential of many of the reactions by knowing the concentration of the both electrolytes in both half cells. When the redox reaction is at equilibrium condition, that means that delta G value is equal to 0, Q is taken to be equal to equilibrium constant, and E will be equal to 0. The equation 1 reduces to the following form. The value of E would become equal to 0, E naught will be taken on the other hand side, E naught will become equal to minus RT over NF ln K. We are placing K instead of Q. Again, whenever we take the constant terms in equation 1 at temperature 298 Kelvin, the actual cell potential and standard cell potential would become related to each other by this value. E is the actual cell potential will be equal to standard cell potential minus 0.02566 over n. N is the number of electrons which are taken or given in a redox reaction. Ln Q, here Q is the ratio of the concentrations of ions in the both half cells. Putting ln Q is equal to 2.303 log Q. Actually, natural log is converted into log base 10. Then E would become equal to E naught minus 0.0591 over N over log Q into log Q. Next equation allows us to calculate the potential associated with any electrochemical cell at 298 Kelvin for any combination of the reactants and products concentration under any condition. We can therefore determine the spontaneous direction of any redox reaction by taking this value, by taking the concentration, and by taking the value of the concentrations. By placing them in the equation 3, we can find the direction of any reaction under any condition. As long as we have tabulated values for the relevant standard electrode potential, notice in equation 3 that the cell potential changes by 0.0591 over n for each tenfold. What does it mean? If there is a tenfold concentration difference between the electrolyte solutions of both half cells, then the value of E will increase or decrease by 1 unit, because log 10 would become equal to 1. As an example, we apply above equation on zinc carbon. we have talked about the zinc copper cell. It's also called to be the basic example of the galvanic cell, in which we take a zinc electrode attached with that of a copper electrode. Copper electrode is dipped in copper ion solutions and zinc electrode is dipped in zinc ion solution. Zinc is oxidized. There at zinc electrode, zinc works as an anode and copper works as a cathode. The net cell reaction taking place is like this one. Zinc is actually giving electron to copper plus 2. Copper plus 2 is reduced to copper and zinc is oxidized to zinc plus 2. The cell notation for the above cell is taken to be equal to like this. Zinc is converted into zinc plus 2. It is the salt bridge. Copper plus 2 is converted into copper. The right hand side is actually giving you the cathodic half reaction, and left hand side is giving you the anodic half reaction. Q will be taken to be equal to ratio of the concentration of zinc ions and copper ions. Let's suppose that we have taken the zinc ion concentration equal to 1 into 10 to the power minus 6 molar and copper ion concentration is equal to 1 molar. The value of cell potential can be calculated by putting these values in this equation. E naught is equal to n will be equal to 2 because 2 electrons are given by the zinc to the copper. Log zinc concentration is taken up, then copper concentration is taken below. The EMF of the cell would become equal to 1.28 volt, and we know the standard electrode potential, standard cell potential of zinc copper cell is 1.1 volt. It means that the EMF of the cell is much higher than that of this value. It means the reaction is going to proceed to the forward direction yet. So the cell potential at the start is greater than that of the standard cell potential value because Q is less than 1, because the concentration of zinc is lower than that of concentration of copper. The Q is less than 1, so the value of EMF or potential of a cell is greater than that of the standard cell potential at the start of the reaction where we have taken these concentration of zinc and copper. As the reaction proceeds, the concentration of zinc increases because zinc is going to oxidize from the zinc electrode. In the anodic half compartment, zinc will be converted into zinc plus 2. So the zinc ion would increase and concentration of zinc plus 2 would increase. While in the cathodic half cell, the copper is going to reduce. The copper plus 2 are eliminating from the solution. So the copper plus 2 concentration would decrease in the second one half cell, which is called to be a cathodic half cell, and it reaches to Q increases and reaches to 1 value at the equilibrium. Here at equilibrium E would become equal to E naught. Then on further moving the reaction, Q would become greater than 1, and when the Q start increasing than 1, the value of the cell potential would become lower than that of standard cell potential. And if we take the conditions which are reversed, then the reaction started. For example, copper concentration is taken 1 into 10 to the power minus 6 molar and zinc concentration is taken 1 molar, then the electrode or cell potential would become equal to 0.92 volt. 0.92 volt will be the value of the cell potential for these concentrations we have. Cell potential is actually directly proportional to log Q. At the value of log Q equal to 0, the cell potential will be equal to standard cell potential. It is equal to 1.1 volt. On further lowering the value of increasing the value of log Q, cell potential decreases than that of standard cell potential, and if log Q is taken in negative, the cell potential would become greater than that of the standard cell potential. At a specific value of log Q, the cell potential would become equal to 0. This is called as dead condition, where battery becomes dead. On plotting cell potential versus log Q, whenever we take log Q versus cell potential, we get a straight line with slope, negative slope. It's a straight line having negative slope. Value of Q can be calculated at dead conditions by using equation number 3. Whenever we use equation 3 for dead conditions, we can calculate the value of Q, which comes to be equal to 1.7 into 10 to the power 37. These are some questions about the today's lecture. The student should be able to give all these answers of all these questions after learning this lecture. Allah Hafiz.